Although Web3 does not have a standard definition so far, it is conceivable that it must be an era in which data property rights are returned to the creators, and the rational distribution of value is realized. Its most prominent feature is ownership. This will be a revolution to Web 2. Just as printing technology changed and weakened the power structure of medieval guilds, Web 3 fundamentally changed the traditional power structure of the internet world. In my opinion, it should have three characteristics. The first is that everyone has their own digital identity. In the Web3 world, your identity consists of a key pair, the wallet. Here, the only prerequisite for controlling your identity or wallet is that you must hold with a private key or mnemonic in that key pair. The best way to protect it at the moment is to write it by hand and physically store it in the safest place in the real world. When you have the private key, you can prove to anyone that you have the public key associated with it. That is, your public identity, or your wallet address. With this identity, you will no longer need to register accounts to use different apps repeatedly, and you will not need to rely on them to prove that you are yourself. Other users can also encrypt information that only you can decrypt and read without communicating with you, and publish that encrypted information publicly, that only you can decrypt those messages. At the same time, you can also put your signatures on any message, such as online voting or signing contracts, etc. Although these may be very similar to the Twitter login and YouTube login we usually use, the only difference is that we really use you to log in this time. The second is storage. Everyone will have their Owner Online Device, or OOD, to serve you exclusively to store the data generated by your various applications. In the Web3 era, it is not only your private cloud, but also your exclusive data steward and your private server. It will become the core infrastructure of Web3. It could store your memories when it was born, instead of our data being held on the cloud services of big internet manufacturers, making us entirely controlled by them and only seeing what they want us to see. These data, such as photos, videos, documents in the physical world, and avatars, game items, skins, etc. in the virtual world, will be tied to your digital identity. At the same time, it will also manage all our smart devices in a unified way. This will ensure that all your data is no longer stored on one company's servers and that you are constantly communicating with your own device, providing the information source is trustworthy and reliable. The last is the transmission and distribution of value. Web 2 mainly solves the transmission of information, but it cannot fundamentally realize the circulation of value, so it must rely on internet giants to distribute value, which leads to the phenomenon of corruption in the real world. In the Web3 era, any content, including words, pictures, text, voice, etc., is an independent digital account, which is bound to the digital identity of the original author. The dissemination process of the content itself is the process of value transmission, and the quality of the content determines the value. Each user is both a consumer and a value creator, and each dissemination may bring more benefits to the original author. So how to solve the problem of value distribution? That is DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. In a DAO, everyone will have the opportunity to become the organization's manager and participate in the governance and decision-making of the organization, provided that they hold a certain amount of tokens. The DAO organization's strength will determine the token's value, just like stocks. Since the members of the DAO organization are all holders of the token, it is in everyone's common interest to increase the value the organization provides to its members. A positive circle can be formed so that the DAO organization can go further and longer. At present, everyone is actively discussing Web3 and even participating in it. CYFS has completed all the underlying development work and is open source on GitHub. Ethereum is at a critical moment of a merger. Solana announced that it would launch Saga mobile phones, etc. I believe that in the next few years, there will be countless experiments to verify the feasibility of Web3. And it is undeniable that these infrastructures and technologies will together build a world by protocols. No technology can have more potential than coordinating people's actions toward a common goal. This is the most extraordinary charm of Web3. We are discussing Web3 now, as we were discussing Web2 20 years ago. Disruption and turmoil usually signify that technology is on the rising curve and is ready to enter the stage of history, during which the bubble and fake Web3 projects will be washed out. Real success belongs to the Web3 projects with real value. As we approach a world that is more and more controlled by technology, we need to maintain a clear mind and the ability to think independently, not become a slave to technology. This is a brand new future. We don't know how long it will take, but it always needs someone to push the wheel of history, say inappropriate words, and fight against those seemingly unshakable behemoths. Bread is important, convenience is important, but we cannot give up the right to think for this moment's convenience. The entire internet has only been born for only 50 years, but the whole human history has been radically changed by it. I am curious and full of expectations for the next generation of the web. After another 50 years of development, what will the world be like? Although it is still unknown, it must undoubtedly be a world that users can truly own. All right, that's it for this today. I'm Frederick, a creator who has independent thoughts on the future of the web. If you are satisfied with the video content, I hope you can like, subscribe, and share it. If you want to know more about the future web, or you want to discuss the content, please leave a message in the comment area. Thank you very much. See you next time.